2 people already in the house with us. Puma Pete and RH, how are y'all? Sherry Strong, Jesse Good, Dina, Lunatic, what's going on? What's up, R. Vrablik? Nicholas Carroll, how are you? Well, I was good when I woke up until I went outside this morning and saw there was 2 feet of snow, and it just keeps coming. What's up, MJ? How are you? Derek Davies, Josh Penny, Don, Celeste, Vicky Parker, Jennifer, how are you? Welcome to the live. Hey, Joe. Kakalina, how are you? We got snow. You guys all know the live streams. You know what the outside looks like. Can you see it? Can you see all that snow? Because that just means $20 is $20, baby. 2 feet in less than 12 hours. Fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. What's up, A. Jackson? Rich, how are you? Alan? Robert Sharp, how are you? Yup, that's snow. That is a lot of snow. I have an Ego snowblower, and it works great for like 9 inches of snow. Okay. I get that little motherfucker out and I put the batteries in it. And I swear to God, I started it up and it literally wanted to turn back and go into my garage. It was like, I'm not going to do that. The snow was higher than the snowblower. So I had to I was pushing at the top and then going to the bottom, pushing the top, going to the bottom. My arms hurt. My body hurts. What's up, Kathy? Gravity Cheeseburger, how are you? Caden. Thanks, Josh Thompson. Appreciate that. Boise, Idaho. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. I'm just going to call you Vet. What's up, Vet? How are you? I got a stack of encounters to share. I literally debated on doing the live tonight because I was so tired. I fell asleep on the couch at like 8 o'clock. I woke up at 9 and I was like, you got to do it. You got to do it. Who cares? You spent 4 hours snow blowing, then working on your channel. You just got to do it. So, Don Combs, you got a membership last week from Dark Waters, and a few other people were throwing out memberships. Alan Connell, Victor is no longer with us. He's not been with us for a while. I've never said he was still with us. I've actually said that he's been gone for a long time. For the last couple of months. I'm just sharing old stuff because I've almost got his book done. Actually, Monday, a publishing company reached out to me to help me do it, to help me get the book out. So I'm debating on whether to do Amazon or to do Let There Be Light, or to do this publishing company. I'm not sure. I'll weigh the options and try to figure it out. Yeah, Adam, you know what? It's tomorrow is just going to be cleanup. That's it. That's all that's going to be. There's like maybe 2, 3, 4 inches out there right now. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to take too much. I busted ass. The next door neighbor, they didn't even fucking go out. I mean, next door it's like an apartment building, and like their driveway isn't even plowed. So, you know what pisses me off though is I had just put my keep your fucking dogs off of my lawn signs out, 4 of them, and now they're buried in snow. Caden, what's up, Sean? How are you? Caden's getting a little frisky already. Benita, how are you? You guys like the haircut? Got the haircut, trim the old beard down. Looking sharp. Looking sharp. Sexy as a motherfucker. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Brian. Amateur cryptozoologist, you. Keep your dog man off my lawn. What's up, Tad? Dude, I love that name, Tad. Tad Ricketts. You went to college, didn't you, Tad? With a name like Tad, you went to college. You got a boat. Your mom and dad make $400,000 a year. Tad. I'm just kidding. Oh, this is what happens when I'm fucking tired. I am so tired. I am fucking on, like, it feels like I'm on acid right now. Smoking Presbyterian tobacco in my pipe tonight. Oh, Presbyterian tobacco. How the fuck? What is Presbyterian tobacco? Maybe a picket fence. Nah. No, because see what happens is it's not just them, and the lawn is like it's a weird cut lawn, so it would look completely idiotic to have a fence up. And like where I live in the middle of Glens Falls, and it's a fucking cesspool, you know? So military couple here. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your service. Appreciate that. It's an English blend pipe tobacco. I when I smoke my pipe, I use the what is it? Captain Black Cherry. I like that shit. That shit's good. I know you were on my show. I do remember. I didn't. Is that a new? That's a new avatar or something? Because I didn't think you went by that name back in the day. So I got a lot of good encounters for us tonight. I got a multiple of them. Okay. Yeah, Caden, you know, like everyone else does. How's the snow up there? Nathan, you just popped in, brother. It got 2 feet. 2 feet of snow. I almost didn't do the live because of it. What's up, Neck? How are you, brother? DB McBolin, what's going on? DB. I already did the $20, Tyler. I hit it off early. I'll show you guys one more time how much snow we got. Because last week we had no snow, and you remember. Look at that shit. I have to turn the light off for it. Can you see that? That's ridiculous. $20 is $20. Ugh. Plow guy's gonna come and want to get frisky or something. All right, so I got this very interesting experience, rather long. I think we'll start the night off with that. What's up, low profile MX guy? Lori JC. Excuse me. Hey, Sunshine, how are you? Derek Bailey, what's going on? Southern Charmer, how are you? No, you do not wish you had snow. Trust me on that, Benita. What's up, Rockin' Steady? Hey, Joe, did you guys get snow up in Maine today? You're expecting to get snow dumped on us starting Sunday evening. Yeah, that's probably the storm that just passed through here, Lake. In my county. What county is that? What's up, Vincent Reese? 8 inches and now sleet. Damn. That sounds like a good night for somebody, though. 8 inches and some sleet. Oh, God, I got to go to sleep soon. Beaufort County. Okay. Yeah, well, right there is where freaking the teacher was attacked. A couple of years ago, yeah, Sunshine, it did. I remember it snowed all on the East Coast back in 2016 in April. We got smashed, the whole East Coast. Taz Blackwell, what's going on? Oh, the Paris Island. Paris Island, that's where they see those monkeys or something, I believe, right? Fulton County. We got 2 feet here in Warren County, Chris. Rashawn, how are you? You should be nominated for YouTube's best hair. Yeah, I really would like to actually be in short sleeve. I love shorts and short sleeves. Short sleeves, I'm good to go. What's up, Nick Bray? How are you? Stephen Knight. All right, let's get this night going. If I don't say hi to somebody when I'm reading, I apologize right off the top. Ricardo, how are you? Paula, Craig. All right, here we go. This happened in a abandoned. Herman, thank you for joining. I appreciate the membership, my friend. This happened at an abandoned United States Air Force station in Ohio, Brookfield. Joseph claims that sometime in November of 2002, he and a friend decided to head to an abandoned Brookfield Air Force station located near Brookfield, Ohio. It had been abandoned since 1986. After previously being a nursing home, there were about 30 empty buildings on 10 acres of land, surrounded by overgrown vegetation and barbed wire fence. Police regularly patrol the area to keep out vandals, though many of the locals, like Joe, spent much of their youth roaming around the old base. Joe believes that he had been there more than 100 times, and as an adult, he still likes to go to the area occasionally to shoot guns, hike, etc. The base is about 1/10 of a mile from his home. Through the woods, there is a hole cut in the fence, which allowed easy access to the property. On that chilly November 2002 day, Joe and his friend Tori decided to head to the base to do some shooting. Only Joe was armed. There was a light snow on the ground as they made their way through the woods, following a deer path to the wired fence. Joe noted that it's unusually quiet that day walking through the woods. No sounds of animals, no wind, no nothing at the time. He didn't think much of it, but looking back, he believes that it was strange enough that he remembered it. After finding and crawling through the hole, they eventually made their way into the base, walking through knee-deep grass. As they walked toward the building, they began to hear this beeping sound, which they found to be odd given the buildings have had no power since the late 80s. As they got within 5 feet from the building, the beeps increased and became louder. They eventually made their way through the open garage bay door, and this is when the beeping went crazy. Think a metal detector zeroing in on metal. Guys, what I heard up north. Tori became frightened. Joey noticed that there were 2 doors leading into rooms, one of which was closed. He found this odd because every other time he had come up, the doors were open. The beeping was coming from the room with the door closed, so despite Tori's misgivings, Joey Joe kicked open the door and entered. The beep slowly faded out, replaced by a loud droning sound. He noticed a device sitting on the floor about 3 feet away. Initially, he thought it was a pipe bomb. He thought that he was going to die. It looked like an air compressor with wires on the left side going into a rectangular black box with a cylinder attached to it. I have no idea what it was, Joe recalls. He wondered if the police or maybe the Marines who occasionally train on the base had put it here. Tori was frightened and insisted they leave. Joseph also shared that feeling. They decided to head back to the fence and get out of Dodge. As they made their way through the tall grass, things got very quiet. They both stopped, sensing that they were being watched. All of a sudden, they could hear loud footsteps coming through the overgrown brush. That's when they noticed across the field that snow was bouncing up and the grass/bushes were parting, as if something was going through the grass, something they could not see. It was the weirdest thing, Joe says. Joe could see the outline of what appeared to be a human, but it was transparent. He could see through it. He could see the brush on the other side of it, but it was distorted, like an optical illusion. Both men became frightened and headed for the fence. Joe and Tori both kept an eye on it as they moved. They noted that there were clear indentations in the snow, and the brush and snow were moving as if something or somebody was trudging through. But they couldn't see anything beyond the outline. Even stranger, Joe claimed that it seemed to be completely vanish occasionally and then come back. It trailed them, but never got more than 30 feet away from them, except when they neared that fence. At some point, Joe stopped and raised his rifle at the thing. This seemed to anger the entity. There was some brush that stood maybe 15 feet high, and it separated like somebody drove a truck through it. It was coming hard. Snow was flying, brush was flying. Joe aimed at it, but for the first time ever as a hunter, he felt a real sense of dread, like he should not shoot at it. His friend Tori also urged him not to shoot, as it would only make matters worse. They eventually found the hole, and by this time, it was fully sprinting at them. The 2 men rushed through and into the woods, keeping their eyes on the semi-invisible being. Joseph noticed that it had stopped at the fence. It was almost as if it wasn't allowed to leave. Then it was gone, like it evaporated. 3 weeks later, Joseph returned with another friend. They spent hours searching through every abandoned building, but never found the beeping device, nor did they ever have the encounter with that entity again. Looking back, Joe senses that the thing he encountered was something evil, and that it meant to do them harm. He likened his sighting to the alien in the Predator movies, but noted that while similar, it was not the same. Also, a person who lives in that same location had a very similar experience. This is Ian's experience. Excellent to hear, because I am very familiar with the radar base in Brookfield, Ohio. My grandmother lived in the woods right behind it on Stewart Road. As kids, we would journey there from time to time through the woods on a special secret hike. We would get in through a hole in the fence in the woods. In a word, eerie. I am familiar with the beep and the garage. My cousin John and I heard that beeping, but we never knew where it would come from. The beeps did not speed up, just loud beeps spaced a few seconds apart, coming from somewhere. There was definitely something going on there. After it had closed as a nursing home, there was still mail being delivered and collected regularly. Fire hydrants were still being kept up to date, telephones were still on and ringing, dogs were kept in select areas inside locked abandoned buildings. This was many years after it had closed and not a soul was around. However, you always felt as if you were being watched. At times, the police would show up, and being as we were kids, we would take off. How would they even know we were there? There is definitely something governmental / UFO always surrounding this place, well before famous UFO incident in Trumbull County, Ohio, in 1994. And at times, ghost-like things occurred that are too long to be typed right here. We would hear sudden, loud, unexplained things, banging noises right within our vicinity that we could not determine. If it was a person on the next floor, you should not be there, and that we didn't see, or in the grounds that were haunted. We would also hear things in the building, and this place is in the middle of nowhere, no houses or people on the site, and it is fenced off, back off of Route 7. The UFO incident simply sealed the deal for us. Awesome to hear this experience from Joe, because few folks who lived right around that area always suspected something just had to be up at that radar base. Is there anyone from Ohio that knows where this base is? What's up, Aramic? How are you? Truth Quest, how are you? IE Native, how are you? How are you? Isabel Nadalny, how are you? GG Mason, how are you? Nicole Clark, how are you? Isabel doesn't go outside. She's not seen the snow. She looks out her window. I keep her locked in a cage, occasionally throw her vegetables to eat and cookies. Yeah, did you hear the interpreter, the Dodgers interpreter got arrested? Fucking great. Oh, Dodgers are going to be shitty this year. I can feel it. Like my fucking nuts. Randy's in the house. Bye. Love you, baby girl. So, is anyone from Ohio, and does anyone know about this base that I just talked about? 193 people, 86 likes. Let's get the likes up, kids. Ooh, low profile. That's what I just had for dinner tonight, was freaking White Castle burgers. It's not better than driving down to the city to get White Castle, though. I love you too, Rock and Steady. I love you too. No, the Dodgers are going to do all right this year. I mean, we kicked ass last year, so I think we'll do good this year. I know of that case in Anderson County. I've actually I don't know how, if you're new, Nathan, but I've got a lot of historic experiences on the channel. I would check them out. I have noticed that, Sunshine. I have noticed that, a lot of different things. There's a book that is really interesting. It's called Early History of Jackson County, Georgia. And if you get this book, if you can find this book anywhere, on page 45 to 50, they talk about the early settlers dealing with a dogman, but they called it the wog. The wog. Dude, White Castle is the best low profile. I don't think anything's better than White Castle. Wait, White Castle? Okay, so I usually have 4 of the White Castle burgers and then 2 Applejack Pop-Tarts with a big cup of milk, and I'm fucking good to go. What's up, Will? Ah, 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 shit. I never had no fish from White Castle. Yeah, Don Combs. I don't control ads in the live streams. I don't control ads in my videos either. So there's nothing I can do about that. So you can grr all you want, but unfortunately, there's nothing I can do, brother. I apologize. I had an encounter at my workplace in November. I did reach out to Found Dark Waters, you and BRD. You reached out to me? Because I'd like to hear your encounter. Yeah, IE native. I mean, I can get them at the grocery mart, but every once in a while, if I drive downstate, I can get them. Nino, you sexy MFer. How are you? James Buck. Dairy Queen. Ooh, I have not heard of Dairy Queen in a long time. Larry Lindman, what's going on? Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Update on my dad. Update on my dad. Here we go. Red Bull burp. So, my dad cognitively is getting better. He's shaking now. They put him on some new medication. My mom thinks it might be that, but they weighed him again this week. They weighed him last week and he weighed 112 pounds. They weighed him this week and he was 119. So he's gaining weight. Cognitively, he's there. Mentally, you know what I mean? The neurologist came, did the result or test, and there is no dementia. So the delirium and the hallucinations were all from the infection. So hopefully he's gonna get better. I hope physically he can just pull through. Talk to DDoS. Yeah, okay. I don't know DDoS. I know of him. I know that he's friends with Dark Waters. I'm very good friends with James. But yeah, if you want, reach out to me and we can get something going, Nathan. Yeah, Elizabeth, it's definitely great news. I'm just, he's starting to, check this out. So the nurse goes to my mom. She goes, "Oh, you've been married for 53 years? How did you guys do it?" And my mom's like, "Communication and just love." And my dad goes, "Miller High Life." Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Fucking dad, Miller High Life. Oh, jeez, I'm crow. Beretta, how are you? Have you or Doc Waters posted a recent map on Dogman sightings across the United States? No, I have not. I don't. I literally have a filing cabinet with probably over 2,000 to 3,000 encounters. It would be literally impossible to make a map. For me, I know that there are maps out there that have got like 100. There are far too many encounters. I've got my encounters broken state by state. I've actually got another filing cabinet that I've got to start working on because I've got paperwork just fucking everywhere. No, 2,000 to 3,000, Firehorse. 2,000 to 3,000. What's up, Tyler Marshall? How are you? No Cat Bussin'. What's going on? 59th. How are you? Thank you, Smiling Wolf. I appreciate that. Look at Nino with that little sexy MFer flirting with Tyler. Hi, Tyler. Oh, shit. You guys watch anything good this week? Rush, that's a good movie. That's a good movie. Penny Dreadful, yeah, boy. Or girl. What did I watch? Oh, I watched that new Law and Order Toronto. Not bad. I watched it on that app, not an app, but that website Flickr or whatever the hell it is. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Midsummer Murder TV series. That sounds cool. If you guys like Law and Order, check that out. Any thoughts on Nephilim living in the mountains? Aramic, I did a couple of videos probably a couple months back about the Canadian Rockies having Nephilim live in there. Yeah, I think they're in there pretty deep. What's up, Jeffrone? How are you? My Flickr or Flicks, I don't know. It's like FLIXTER or some shit like that. You don't even need to pay money. You can watch it. They got good stuff on. That's where I watched that Dracula movie, the fucking Demeter or whatever, back in the day. Sunshine, thank you so much, dear. I appreciate that. Have you noticed increase of Dogman related movies? Yeah, I did. I answered you. Yes, I have. I've noticed that there's a lot of weird, there's a lot of just different strange stuff coming out. And I'm wondering why that is, actually, just like you. Strange question. Do you feel more Canadian or more of a New York City guy? I feel like I'm an Adirondacker. Definitely not Canadian. I like firearms and my freedom that I have. I have a little more freedom than New York City people. But yeah, definitely not Canadian because I don't like that poontang or whatever the fuck that shit is. I don't know how those people can eat that. Gravy with cheddar cheese. That's just filthy. That's such like a call for diarrhea. Kim Duckworth, how are you? Poontang. It reminds me of like, well, you know what I'm going to say. Yeah. Beatnik. New York City Beatniks there, Caden? Yep, that's what I was going to say, Rock and Steady. You're reading my mind. Reading my mind. Trudeau is a weasel. He is a weaselly little fucker, isn't he? I'm doing well, Mickey Smith. I'm doing well. You? Tigger is probably hiding because he doesn't like the sounds from the plows. Constitutionalist. I'm a Tea Party Republican. Do you remember what happened at Soho Observatory? No, I don't. No. But when San Hoff comes, she'll probably. All right. How about a black-eyed kid experience, guys? If you've ever heard of Conic Chase in the United Kingdom, well, if you've been with my channel for a while, you know you have. Infamous Dogman, Old Stinker, and such. Then you've probably also heard of a lot of ghost experiences surrounding it. The most famous one, however, has to be about the black-eyed children of Conic Chase. I had heard a lot of these experiences, but never really believed in it myself. Me and my friends Sam and Becky run a fairly successful paranormal YouTube channel. We mostly film around the West Midlands and haunted locations. We mainly do stuff like using Ouija boards, asking spirits to communicate with us, and pretending that we are making contact with them. Becky and I will be the people on the channel who go out and try to communicate with the spirits. Sam is the cameraman who occasionally throws a rock in the background so we can all act startled and go, what was that? It gets us fairly good views, enough to at least have a decent source of income on top of our daily jobs. Wow. We were celebrating our 4th anniversary of doing this YouTube channel soon, and we wanted to do a special video. Living in Wolverhampton, Conic Chase is about a half an hour drive, so it made sense to do something at a popular location. We arrived there in the dead of midnight and filmed for a couple hours, but nothing happened. During our usual Ouija board ritual, we called on the black-eyed children. Well, these people are very intelligent, aren't they? We mocked and intimidated them, making contact with us, and even had Becky act like she had been possessed. When we were finished, we decided to head back to the car. We were having a bit of a good laugh, but the whole thing, and Sam was going to take footage home with him to edit. Sorry. When we arrived at the car, Becky noticed a couple of kids who must have been no older than 15 in the background. They were slowly making their way towards our car. Sam made a comment about how that was kind of ironic and a little bit creepy. But we got to the car and drove off without waiting to see what they wanted. I know, kind of an asshole thing to do, but we didn't want to become a victim of robbery or anything. Next night, I'm lying in bed when all of a sudden my dog started going absolutely nuts downstairs. I went down to see what was going on. As I got closer, I remember this immense feeling of terror come over me. My dog was facing the door, hackles up. There was a knock on the door. I looked out the window and immediately felt sick to my stomach. 2 children, a boy around 15 and a girl no older than 11, standing outside. You must let us in, the boy said. We need to call our mother. The way he spoke was not typical for a child from Wolverhampton at all. He sounded posh, but something was off in his tone. I can't quite make it out. Probably because you throw rocks in your videos and fake your fucking subscribers. Sorry. Why do you need to call your mom? I asked. None of your fucking business. This time the girl spoke. You must let us in, she said. Our mother will be very worried. I felt my hand going for the door. I was terrified. In my subconscious, I knew what they were exactly, but I was almost in a trance. I was obviously too. My dog going crazy behind me when all of a sudden he did something he has never done before. He bit the back of my leg. He bit me so hard he drew blood. I snapped out of it. I immediately pulled away from the door. The 2 came to the window and startled me. Their eyes were black, completely black. This time they spoke together. You wanted to speak to us last night, but we couldn't catch up with you. You must let us in. It won't take too long. I remember grabbing my dog and running upstairs and knocking. The knocking continued all night. It was getting louder and louder and more furious as the night went on. Only when there was daylight did it stop. I immediately called Sam and Becky and told them what happened. They told me that the same thing happened to them too, but they couldn't snap out of it and let them in. I asked them what happened. They said the kids walked around their house for a bit and then they left. They did dirty stuff to your butt. They said that the whole time they were there, they also felt an immense sense of terror and doom. We never did upload that video on YouTube. Doing so just made it feel like if we did that, it would have been inviting them to come back. A few weeks later, I got a message from Sam's brother. Him and Becky got involved in a car accident. They'd been driving near Conic Chase, lost control of their car, and ended up wrapping it around a pole. They didn't make it. I have no way of telling for sure whether letting the black-eyed children into their house was the cause of this, but in fact, that they did, and they died near Conic Chase. I didn't make me think that maybe if I had let them in, I'd be dead too. I still have nightmares about them. I still sometimes worry that they're going to come back and stand outside of my house. I wake up in the middle of the night screaming, terrified, spending hours debating whether to peek outside or not. Are they there just waiting patiently, waiting for me to slip up? I won't. I've taken precautions now. I've gotten myself another dog, because one of them can stop me from opening the door. What will 2 do? They seem to follow me everywhere, the dogs. Some people think that I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm just being safe. So you kind of invited it yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you bring a Ouija board to a haunted location. You ridicule and mock these things when they quite possibly may be demons or some kind of alien, whatever. And then you just, I don't even know, what a shit show, you know? It's terrible about their friends passing away. Okay, Jeff, we all need you to explain the side statement about the cheeks. Oh, because when they let the people in the house, they did dirty things to their booter. No, I called it Poontang, not Poontang, caveman. Thanks for your honest answer. I don't know who that's about. I don't know where Jane is tonight. She didn't message me. Let me check. Maybe she did. Let's see if she's. Let's see. Hang on. Janie, are you coming to the live? What's up, George? How are you? Hey, Sonia, how are you? Don't bring a Ouija board to any fight. Definitely not. Definitely not. You know, I honestly believe that the reason why thanks, Nathan. I honestly believe the reason why I got sick was because my cousins and I played with the Ouija board, which I think has a huge result of me having my Dogman experience. You know, I brought the videos on my channel. I brought you guys to the farmhouse or the barn, which is haunted. It's no longer. My cousin passed away and lost, you know, the family farm. But playing with the Ouija board, it said we were all going to die. My cousin died. 2 of my cousins died. One of cancer. One was crushed to death by a tractor trailer. I was diagnosed with my terminal illness that I have. And our friend Nick he's like emotionally and mentally, he's got a terminal illness too as well, but he's emotionally dead as well. So I think that that had a lot to do with it. It said we were going to see the Hounds of Hell too. And shortly, like 2 years later, I had my Dogman experience. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. Hey, Jeff, Genesee County between Rochester. Have you ever had encounters in this area of the Dogman? 1 or 2, actually. XX26, XX26, XX. But I'm going up that way this summer to go to the asylum up in Genesee County very soon. Yeah, it's kind of weird, 59th, to think about it. It took me a long time to actually, like, really put it all together because it's years apart. Like, one cousin died of cancer like a year later. Jay did. My cousin Mel was crushed to death like 15 years later. But he had been really sick with Lyme disease for a very long time. I was diagnosed with my illness like 5 years later. Um, it takes time. It's not immediate. You know what I mean? What's up, Derek Crowley? How are you? Oh, IE native. I hope they're not using it with the people. God dang. Absolutely, Nathan. Absolutely. Our lives can, and I had made, have you seen, I have made comments like this. So, what's up, Andy Davis? How are you? Um, I need prayers. My wife is sick. But please, everyone, please pray for Andy's wife. Andy, your wife and you are in my prayers, my brother. I hope she gets better. I'm not even gonna intrude and ask, but I hope she gets better. Prayers. XX26. You'd probably look for New York State encounters on my channel. I might go and do a New York update soon, or upload soon. Sorry. And I'd made a comment. I have a possible friends were exposed to some sort of radiation while seeing the Dogman. Yeah, well, Sunshine, I don't know if you watched the upload that I did the other day where a guy reached out to me that had shared all these experiences. He was the one that sent me the emails like 2 years ago on the Dulce stuff and the Super Soldier stuff. Well, he sent me another email and I did an upload. And there are actually the Sumerians, talked about a dog-headed race of aliens, as well as the Anunnaki, even though the Anunnaki were not human, talked about this dog-headed race of people. And that may be what the dogmen of now But so when I made this comment about people who have addiction and people who have mental illness, I really think that 100%, the more and more I look into it, I really believe that for some reason, people with addiction and people with mental illness have a higher chance of encountering one of these creatures or having a strange experience. Andy, God bless you and your wife, my friend. Oh, Anastasia, you're so kind. It did, Kyle. It did. I think it was around that time, Sunshine, to be honest with you. Like her other half thinks I'm the right on, Jay Cortez. It does, like I've literally, and I don't want to I will never name names for anybody, like I respect people's anonymity regardless. But like I'd have to say 80% of the people that I've ever talked to have had an addiction. And it feels like that's something for real there. Yeah, I don't remember the name of it offhand, Sunshine. I'll probably remember it and I'll just blurt it out immediately. What's up, Raymond L. from Colorado? I'm too tired tonight, Enki, to do cokes. So I'm hitting the Red Bull and water to stay awake. Yeah, Nick Bray, 100%, 100%. Well, Alan Connell, Robert Sharp is in the comment section right now. He's the guy that had his life with Rascal. Yeah, Ricardo, that's an old video, brother. That's a real old short video. That's probably like 10, 15 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. 5 years. Coffee makes me sleep. Coffee makes me sleepy too for some reason. So are you planning to visit some cryptid places for content? Right now, my daughter, I've said this 100 times, my daughter is 16 and lives with me. So when she's 18, other than that, I'm going to be going, I just go to where Tom Mezek disappeared. And I've had enough crazy stuff happen there. Yeah. I've had a lot of crazy shit happen there, all on video too. Caught the metallic sounds that people have heard, or that people with Tom Mezek heard. Something ran off the side of the mountain that I caught on video. Something smashed through trees, put trail cams up. So yeah, you probably missed those. But yeah, I don't just sit in my ass and an armchair researcher like YouTubers do. I go out. I think that's what it is coffee dehydrates you. Holy shit, Kirk Stokes. How are you, my friend? Blessings to you. Blessings to you. Good to see you. For all of you who know who Kirk Stokes is, one of the best video that I've ever seen of a Dogman is from this man, Kirk Stokes. I was fortunate enough to have an interview with him. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. I hope your health is well. You like that, Kyle, didn't you? Jeff, a team was watching you? What team, Caden? I'd have to say I've heard a lot of Kirk's. I purposely went back, and because I don't watch other YouTube channels, I went back to listen to other videos and interviews that Kirk had done. And I'd have to say, and Kirk's here, and Kirk and Black Ops team. Kirk, if this is true, I felt the interview that I did with you, you seemed more relaxed with me. And you shared a lot. You were just really, it felt like you were just relaxed, and it was a great interview, about an hour and a half. I was blessed to have that with you. Catherine, thank you. God, 2 years ago, Sunshine, 2 years ago. Maybe year and a half ago. Jeff got real live ops out here. Oh, well. I had that gray van, though. I had the gray government van following me. Team of lot lizards. Hell yeah. What is the Kirk Stokes video info access for us to watch? It's a video that I share, and I tell you guys that it's the only true Dogman video that's out there where he actually catches a dogman in the woods. I'll have to share it again sometime soon. Aramik, I'm gonna be going up in the Adirondacks on April 8th. And did you say you were making another video on New York? Yes, no cap. Yes. I'm going to be going up April 8th to the Adirondacks the day of the eclipse. And I think quite possibly with what I've read and learned about how animals act, I'm hoping to catch some kind of neat stuff. I think I'll put the trail cams up 2 days in advance. It can't hurt, right? All right, check this out. This is a weird one. This is a weird experience right here. John Sumner, how are you, brother? Hey, Jeff, what time of the year? It was in August, Craig. Hey, Lily Lewis, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. All right, here we go. This occurred around the time that I graduated, or sometime shortly after, in 1995. My family lived in Michigan at the time, fairly close to the Indiana border. My friends and I used to play Dungeons and Dragons a lot. We got into ghost hunting, and we'd often travel around Indiana side, LaPorte County, Indiana, which was around 45 minutes away. On this particular night, we had picked up a girl I was dating. Her and I were sitting in the back seat while my two buddies were in the front. We were on a somewhat secluded 2-lane road with thick woods on the right side of us. I'm not trying to be vague at this point. I really don't remember much about the area or exactly where we were. And my friend says, "Don't trust what you see around here. I hear your eyes play tricks on you in this area." Almost on cue, we start seeing what basically looks like black fog or shadows darting and swimming across the road in the light of the headlights. We remain calm and keep going. Eventually, the road, it's off to the right into the woods, and we take a turn. After about a quarter of a mile, the road either goes straight onto a gravel or tees to the left, and we take the left. At this point, we are driving. Lily Lewis, thank you so much. At this point, we are driving slow, maybe 5 miles an hour. And both the girlfriend and I are looking out the passenger side window. I was on the passenger side, if that matters. And about 15 feet into the woods, maybe 30 from us total, I see what looks like a small troll hunched over eating something bloody and messy with its back towards us. My mind immediately went to folklore and I think red cap as soon as I see it, even though it was not wearing a thing. I slowly turn to my girlfriend because it's a bit much to see and not think you're crazy. And her eyes are taking up her whole face. She's already tearing up, and they start streaming down her face when she looks at me. She was petrified. We both tell our friends in the front that we need to go. There's something in the woods. She's basically crying. I'm freaking out. The two in the front did not see it, and they are frantic to know what we saw and want to drive by it again, which the two of us want nothing to do with. About 100 yards later down the road, turns right onto the gravel. The driver decides we are going to turn around here and go back the way we came. We turned around and we start off the gravel and the car dies. Not a clutch issue. It was an automatic and pretty unexplained engine quit. Girlfriend flat out starts screaming. The driver says, "Relax," tries to turn the engine over, and thankfully it starts. However, the moment the car turns over, the headlights immediately turn on. Mind you, it's pitch black out. There are no streetlights. It's a heavily wooded area, and we hadn't seen another car in who knows how long. Never mind the fact that our car and headlights were just facing where the car appeared when we were trying to turn around. At that point, everyone decides, okay, we're obviously somewhere we should not be. We're out of here. So we end up driving back by the area we saw this troll thing, and there's nothing there. No troll, no deer. I believe it was a deer that it was eating when we saw it. We got to the area that branched off to the gravel road when we first went into the area. As we approached this road, a set of headlights turn on from the gravel road as well, followed by another headlight. So in the car, there is four of us freaking out, believing we've stumbled onto some weird occult stuff we didn't mean to. And all we want is to get back home. We drive back out onto the main 2-lane road that took us all the way to our house. The other cars go their separate ways uneventfully. That had been 20 years ago, and I still get chills thinking about it. That little gnarly troll all bunched up eating a deer is as vivid as ever. A lot of weird things happened when I lived in the Bridgham, Michigan area. This was the most extreme, but I had about 20 years of unexplained experiences crammed into 2. Janie, how are you, dear? Janie answered my response. I fell asleep. I'm glad that you're here with us, Jane. What's up, Mr. Nice? How are you? Yeah, they are everywhere. I mean, I live in upstate New York, Nathan, and I've had a Dogman encounter. They're all over America. They're even in Hawaii. So all right, so what have we done tonight so far? We've done Glimmerman, Black Eyed Kids, Trolly Troll. How about Dogman? Dogman encounter. It is supposed to be a full moon out, almost. You're right, Richard. I got some crawlers, Booma Pete. Kyle, I did an upload about it because I used to say that there were no Dogman experiences in Hawaii, but there is actually a legend of dog-headed people, a dog-headed tribe that lived in Hawaii. And I did an upload about it. I'm the only one that ever did. I'm doing well, Janie. I'm doing well. What's up, Stormy Light? Herman, yes. Yep. In Hawaii. Yep. I honestly don't say things to hear myself talk. Yeah, Yucca. All right, here we go. I've lived in North Louisiana my whole life and grew up on a large cotton farm that my dad owns. My mom is Cherokee descent, so I've always been raised to believe in things that most Americans think are imaginary. My sighting happened in the early 90s. It was February, and our hunting season had already ended a month before. So animals are back to not being hunted and less scared of people and cars. My friends and I are out riding around the farm trying to see some big buck or deer that made it through the season to hunt next year. Well, it was starting to get dark, and we're heading back to town, hanging out with some friends. It's a 20-mile ride from my house, and we had just pulled out onto the road. Maybe 2 miles or so, we saw something running out in the cotton field. I remember saying, "What the hell are those?" 2 huge dog-like animals are running on all 4, but sometimes on 2. Also, they both jumped the whole 2-lane highway like nothing. When I say these things were running, I mean maybe 60 miles an hour. I remember saying they kind of look like hellhounds from the movie The Ghostbusters. My friends agreed with me as soon as I said that. These creatures had huge upper bodies, but their waists to their butt were kind of small. Or maybe that's just the way they looked while they were running. It was a very strange sight. Both of them had wolf-like heads with black fur, and when they did go up on 2 legs, they were both well over 8 feet. I remember the woods on the other side of the field were like 400 yards away, and they made that in a couple seconds. We were all like, WTF. We immediately turned around to go back to my house. When we got home, we ran into the house screaming. Guess what happened to my mom? She was telling us to calm down and speak one at a time. Anyway, we told her what we saw, and she kept saying some strange Cherokee name for these animals. I eventually stopped talking about it because people were making fun of us. I remember later asking my mom about the dog creatures, and I wish I could remember how to say or even spell the name she called them. That's my experience. Thank you for letting me share. Tyler, have a good night. So dogmen are bad guys and crawler is good one for humans? No. No. A female. Tyler, did you ride it? Yeah, I don't know. Crawlers are not friendly. I don't know where that you got that interpretation, but no. Nor is Dogman, nor is Bigfoot. I don't think these creatures, any of these creatures, are nice. Definitely not a friendly bunch. I think I've got a crawler experience for y'all. Lot lizards. I got a lot lizard experience to share in a few minutes. I know I have a crawler experience in here. You know what I think it's almost time for? Is it almost time for the shofar and $20 is $20? Hey, Michelle, how are you? Our chud. Yes, we do. I know I've got one in here. Hang on a second. Is that it? That might be it. Where the fuck is it? I think that's it right here. Yeah, that's it. Okay. It's not a Jew horn, RH. It's called a shofar. That is very racist. No, that's not racist because Jews is a religion, not a people. Well, not a race. They are a people. Let me wet my whistle. Holy shit, it's cold. Oh my God, it's 18 degrees out right now. Oh. $20 is $20. That was fucking good. That one was good. Holy shit. My fucking ear. That was good. That surprised me. Oh, Lord. Lord. Janie, did you get snow in Connecticut? Hey, Rita, how are you? I didn't say hi to you, but I apologize. I know that was a powerful one. What's up, Billy Blue? $35 in Fairbanks. It was a colony that went, the Roanoke, the Sunshine. You're thinking of the Roanoke. We got 2 feet, a little over 2 feet. I will. I'm gonna sneak in tonight. Oh, Oklahoma 56. You know what? It's 59th. This one is for you then. I am. I am. Caden, I'm tormenting things. Icy rain. Yeah, Jane, we got like 20 something inches, 26 inches or something like that. Makes me want to listen to Master P. Oh, some old school rap. I was listening to old school rap last night. I was listening to Liquid Swords last night. A little bit of Jizza. Oh, God, I love that album. Best album ever. On vinyl, too. On vinyl. Pub Gangsta. That's crazy. I'd love to hear that experience. I'd love to hear that. You know it, Mothman. Dirk Diggler. I'm wearing shorts now after the fact that Yeah, we got 2 feet, Jane. I literally opened the garage door and there was the snowbank against my door was taller than my snow thrower. My little electric ego. The little fucker was like, "No, don't do this to me." I live in southeastern Oklahoma, and this happened during a public land duck hunt nearly 7 years ago. I've been an avid outdoorsman from a young age, and this is unlike anything I've ever seen before. I was hunting solo, and none of my buddies were able to join. I had hunted this spot countless times and knew the area very well. It's loaded with ducks, so I decided to go alone was acceptable. I arrived at a perfect time. Peppered the pond with decoy, brushed my blind, and sat down roughly 30 minutes before shooting light. This pond stretches 80 yards wide, 200 yards long at normal water level, and is located in a densely wooded creek bottom. The side I was sitting on faced the dense oak trees, which came nearly all the way to the water. My rechargeable headlamp had been slowly dimming throughout the morning, so the battery was losing juice. As I sat still, calm darkness, I heard faint footsteps coming from the other side of the pond. It sounded very faint, noises that would be produced by a doe or a stealthy raccoon. I flashed my light across the water and saw a pair of eyes light up. The height of the eyes were around 5 feet, about a foot taller than the reeds that surrounded the pond. My assumption was that it was a deer. No other wildlife in the area could possibly be that tall. I kept my dimming light beam fixed on it and remained confident in my assumption that it was a deer until I saw the eyes move. I've seen deer in headlights a million times. I know how they move. And I know about their careful, meticulous maneuvers and mannerisms. This set of eyes moved to the left, but it did so in a very unique and eerie way. It never diverted its eyes away from me. They were entirely fixed across the pond, never once looking to watch it step or anything. They felt like they were dead on me, not above me or to the side of me, but directly at the source of the light beam. When the eyes moved, they did so in a rhythmic swaying motion. It would sway to the left, sometimes pausing for several seconds, sometimes several minutes, and sway again. By swaying, I mean its head would move in a vertical position and then back to a horizontal position, finally coming back to its resting position a couple of feet from its last position. Jesus, that was a lot of positions. I'll also note that it never moved in a jarring manner, an unbroken stare and sway with no abrupt movements. I probably watched this thing for 15 minutes. What frightened me the most is that it was slowly rounding the pond in my direction, and my light was on on its way out. After this thing had made it 30 or so yards, my light sputtered out. I sat extremely still, 12 gauge in hand, and prayed earnestly for the sun to come up. I was horrified and kept my eyes on its last known position. Duck soon came and I didn't shoot. I was too scared to move for a few minutes. I waited and decided to watch for the thing to move. Once I shot, I unloaded on a couple of ducks and saw nothing fleeing from the scene, no movement. I continued to watch for movement throughout the morning and never once saw or heard anything on the bank or the woods. This thing had vanished without a trace. I looked for tracks for an hour to no avail. It's not a crazy story, nothing grandiose. Looking back, what I remember from that morning was an overwhelming sense of being alone and an impending sense of dread as the set of eyes slowly moved around the pond, getting closer to me. And in 10 minutes between my light going out and the first ducks lighting up, I was petrified in my makeshift blind, trying to keep my breathing to a minimum and listening intently on any crunch of leaves or twigs. However, once my light went out, I never heard or saw a thing. I've talked about this experience with many outdoor buddies, but nobody could offer me an explanation. What's up, Soul? How are you? Soulja! What do you mean, RH? About the chats being messed. Ugh. What's up, Barbie B? How are you tonight? Kimberly, how are you? Laggy. Okay. Dory, how are you? You had black panties on, Caden? You're a dirty, dirty little one, you dirty little bird. Dirty bird. Me and Caden are gonna do a freaking Urbex exploration video together. The old dirty Sanchez, a dry Sanchez. Kirk, I would love that. I would honestly love that. You have my number still. Reach out, please, because I really want to talk with you again. I really been thinking about you lately, buddy. I appreciate that, Soldier. My uncle tells me a story about how he encountered a 7-foot beautiful female wearing a long dress in public, but everyone Some normal looking human. That's interesting. Oh. Kirk Stokes, this one's for you, brother. Was she Swedish? Debating sending you my pics. Well, Jason, whenever you're ready, send them. If you don't want me to share them with anybody, I will not. I actually am very good like that. I respect everybody's decisions and anonymity. Oh, feet pics? Oh, please don't. If they're feet pics, Jason, please, I don't like feet. Feet scare me. I was only kidding. I was just going off of what Puma Pete was saying. So anyway, this lot lizard experience that I heard was quite terrifying. It happened back in 1989 in New Jersey. Okay. And I was told that this story is 100% true. 100%. So this trucker buddy of mine, we'll call him Scott, was driving from upstate New York. He had a trailer load full of pallets that he was bringing down to this warehouse. And he gets off onto this turnpike and he goes under some bridges and he's stuck. He's stuck in this like darkened kind of road. Bridge trestles are above him, crisscross. So it's dark. Cars are in front, cars are in back. And he sees about 6 or 7 lot lizards just stalking the side of the road, right? And, he reaches over and locks the door because he is afraid. I mean, these are some very, very dangerous looking lizards from the lot. And all of a sudden, he's sitting there holding his wheel and he's looking out at him. And one pops up at him from his driver's side window. He has a little bit of a stroke, nothing major. But she says, let me in. Let me in. Give me $5 and, I'll make you holler. Well, he's sitting there and he thinks about it because he's been on the road for, 18, 19 hours. So he says, all right, I got a $5. So he lets her in and she's sitting in the seat next to him. And all of a sudden, this tongue comes out of her mouth and fucking flicks him right in the ear. And he startled. So he kind of pushes her away and says, that's a little more than I wanted. I didn't want it in my ear. And so he said, here's the $5. Just get out. So she gets out, $5 happier. And he locks the door and he gets to the place where he's got to drop off the pallets. And he's talking and they're all talking. And he tells him about this lizard from the lot that he saw. And he says, you got a restroom that I can use, please? And they said, yeah, it's in the back over there, Help yourself to the coffee if you want. He said, all right, as they're unloading his trailer. Well, he gets in the bathroom and he's relieving himself and he hears the door open and he's like, occupied. There's no lock on the door. It's just a place of employment. And all of a sudden, it's that lot lizard that was 6 miles back. Well, turns out that lot lizard wanted to repay the services for that $5. So as Scott's relieving himself, all of a sudden, it jumps on him, quickly removes his drawers, and loves him up real nice with the lot lizard wiener. Scott's laying on the floor, kind of startled, didn't know if he liked it or not, kind of felt like he liked it, but didn't really know. She drops the $5 on the floor right next to his face and said, I'll see you next time I'm back in New Jersey. So, lot lizards, sometimes they got wieners. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, someone should make a fucking awesome story about some lot lizards. One can only hope. Oh. So, I mean, we've told 2 lot lizard stories last week, now this week. Maybe I'll compile a memoir of lot lizard attacks. And that's what we'll call the book will be called The Lizards from the Lot. That's pretty good. Amazon bestseller. Amazon bestseller. Truck stop horror stories. Yeah, and after they get done, some chicory. No, Gigi, these are not creepy pastas. These are real stories. These lot lizards are real. A graphic novel. Your grandfather's one, Joe? She probably was a shapeshifter, Well, see, the thing Scott ended up telling me that the tongue was just as long as the other thing. This is an interesting one that I got for you guys right here. Lot lizards run in my family. Lamar in Memphis. Oh shit. There was this is a true story. This is fucking so I don't know if this would constitute as a lot lizard, but so exit 18 on the Adirondack Northway. It's called 87. There's a rest stop there, and it's not your typical rest stop. It's just if you walk in, the women's side is here, the men's side is here, and there's like a couple vending machines, no restaurants or nothing. And so one night, the cops pulled in, right? And the public defender for Glens Falls, one of the public defenders for Glens Falls, was he was smoking crack in his car, dressed as a woman, and this man is like 350 pounds, like 6'2", and I guess he had high heels and stockings on, and just smoking the crack rock at the truck stop. Is that a lot lizard, or is that, I don't know. I think maybe $20 is $20. Just close your eyes. I'm not gay. But it was in the newspaper. And the craziest thing about the family was, like, this family, the last name, like, his dad was an attorney, his brother was an attorney, like a highly, like, they live over in the ritzy section of Glens Falls. And like, dude, this dude's just chilling out, smoking the crack rock, looking for the pickle park. Oh shit. It sounds like what Sunshine is talking about is lot lizards. Judging from the uncle, though, interesting. Oh, God, this is great. All right. There is no other live stream that talks about this stuff. Oh, gee, that's what I say. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what I say. Oh, my God. Corey, we got to give Corey credit for the pickle park. The lot lizards like the pickle park. You know it, Nicola. You know it. We cover the hard-hitting facts. We are 60 minutes in. William Ward, that's why we're here. Web surf guy, I'd like to know that too. Actually. Sunshine, what culture is your native heritage? I met a girl named Sunshine at a powwow in upstate New York once. It was when I was younger. Blackfoot, okay. Huh. My dang chat's messing up. That'll be next week, Anastasia. Anastasia, that'll be next week. I will actually spend a couple of hours working on a good lot lizard experience. But this is a very terrifying experience right here. My son came across this by chance this morning while listening to experiences on his phone. He was taken back when he heard the town of Madeira, Pennsylvania, Clearfield County, mentioned, because I had grown up in Madeira. I had never really heard any serious experiences about strange things in the woods, and we were always in the woods. It was truly creepy at night, though. None of us ever ventured into the woods at night, and it always felt like something was out there watching. We usually didn't go anywhere alone, not even to a neighbor's house. It was kind of an unspoken understanding. I eventually married and moved to another part of the state, and my sons are grown. My son also loved Madeira and roamed the woods there. We'd visit often. My youngest son and I had planned to drive up to visit my sister and her family, who remained living in Madeira. It's a quite beautiful little town where everyone knows everyone and neighbors help neighbors. This is my son's and I encounter. My son and I were near home when we saw it crossing the road. It was huge. It had a massive dog-like head, and my son swears it looked like it had a lion's mane. The shoulders were very large and muscular, and the back end was almost like a deer. It looked like it had dark fur, but darker fur in places that resembled stripes or large spots. It also had a very long tail. My son and I disagree on a few details, but the size, head, tail, and black patches we both agree on. Neither of us had ever seen anything like it before or since. We got to the spot where we had seen it, and it was long gone. I swear it crossed the road in one giant leap and was halfway up the embankment when it hit the ground running. When we got to my sister's house, we told them what we had seen, and of course, they didn't believe us. They said it was probably a big dog or a bear. We know what we saw, and we still don't know what it was. But it's not something we'll ever forget. That was in 2017. Now we keep our eyes open every time we go back home. It wasn't a dog man, but it was some kind of beast that ran on all fours. I often wonder how many other people had seen it. Check this out. This occurred in 1977 in Madera County. I was a young teen at the time. We lived in a house in a heavily forested area in Madera. There are a few residents in our neighborhood. The location was incredibly isolated. My granddad would frequently go on patrols with a local officer who worked for the Game Commission. I bring this up because of his reaction when we had our encounter, which is the reason why I'm bringing this up now. He's a large man, and it took a lot to shake his confidence. When Granddad would walk outdoors at night with nothing but a pitchfork, he would frighten a bear away. We would often just shake our heads at him. He was familiar with the local wildlife and understood their routines and could predict the weather and so on. So I've shared that experience before. This one with the granddad with the pitchfork, but that one that happened in 2017 is 40 years after this. No relation. The family has no relation. And what the grandfather ended up seeing was literally, I'll explain it really quick. The body was enormous. This monster, which was on the outside of the porch, was gazing straight back at us. I recall having the thought, it was furious. It was definitely not a dog, but rather a canine of some kind. It had the appearance of a hyena from the front shoulders all the way to the head, but the rear end was much smaller than the front shoulders. I don't think I ever noticed a tail. The fur had an unusual appearance. It was patchy and shaggy. It simply didn't look like fur. It's difficult to describe. The nose was neither long nor very narrow. The whole body was enormous. It was nearly as wide as our porch from rear of its head to the front of its body. Taking it into account, it was at least 7 feet long. So in Clearfield County, Pennsylvania, there is 40 years difference, a hyena-like cryptid running around the woods. Very interesting. Very, very terrifying. Hey, Liz, how are you? Web Surfer Guy, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Appreciate that. I really do. Thank you for the compliment as well, too. Tanya, you're all good. You missed a lot, actually. I did about 6 experiences. And I did probably one of the most memorable lot lizard experiences ever. Just be careful when you go under the bridge of New Jersey. Vertebraker, thank you very much. I appreciate you. William Ward, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that, brother. Bunny man. You know, isn't it the tunnel? How about the lot lizard with the tongue as long as the leg? That's how big that tongue was, Sunshine. That licked Scott's ear. But when it knocked Scott down, its other member was far longer. Far longer. I mean, we're talking elbow deep. Poor Scotty. Keep the tip. Oh my God. Oh my God. What did the leper say to the sex worker? Keep the tip. Ha ha! That's great. That is fucking great. Thank you for that. Jeff missed out when I look like a bull. I look like a bull. Holy shit. Fucking Caden. Oh my God, Caden, you are fucking priceless, too. Holy fuck. I look like a bull. Oh my God. Caden is a fucking national treasure. I swear to God. Oh, God bless you, Caden. Oh, elbow deep sounds like a channel. Oh. There was one time Caden did a video and some guy gave him shit and I was like, then don't comment or something. I said something fucking nasty to the dick, fucking hurting my buddy. Fucking dude. Oh, good God. Thank you, Caden, for that wonderful. Oh, boy. I was 13 years old in Lake Orion, Michigan, visiting my mom's friends and their kids on the 4th of July weekend. I and a friend and their kids were roaming around the city area late at night. We ended up walking down some residential roads. It was really quiet and dead out, probably around 2 a.m. with no cars driving around. Just that really calm, peaceful time at night when hooligans run wild. Some of the kids wanted to ding dong ditch some houses, and I was kind of a straight edge kid, so I went along with it, even though it made me nervous. We had ding dong ditched probably 5 houses at that point, and the kids started pressuring me to do it, that it was my turn. Don't be such a sissy type stuff. So they directed me to ring the doorbell of a house we were standing in front of. It was a smaller white house, square shaped with some metal fencing around the back for the owner's dog. I walked up and there was no doorbell, so I just walked back. They told me to just knock then. So, as someone who didn't want to kill the fun, I went back and knocked to find they had already taken off running. I ran after them. I don't know if I believed what they were saying, but even my friends said they saw it. Apparently, there was a face in the window the first time I went up, and the house is notoriously haunted. I was a little spooked and out of breath. We must have ran half a mile. I looked behind me to see if there was anything scary following us, and I saw a figure that I have always described as looking made out of water. A humanoid figure was translucent, which makes the background behind them wavy and has a defined outline. I figured my mind was playing tricks on me and just kept walking, joking around with the others, looking back every so often. It was following us, and I could see it under the street lamps occasionally. The leader kid, who wanted to ding-dong ditch houses, looked to see what I was looking at and exclaimed to his friend, "Do you see that?" and took off running. My friend looked back and took off running, and there I was, again, left, running after them. We ran all the way back to his house, probably 3 miles, no sign of it behind us anymore. But I have never been so shaken or scared in my entire life. I was inconsolable. I was scared for a while. I would see it again and find out that it had been following me my entire life. It's been over 10 years now, and I've never seen it again. I've never been able to find anything out about these things. What's up, Kurt W? How are you? So, really quick, there was a crawler experience that I remember hearing in Lake George, New York, which is just like literally my neighbor town. It's a very rocky and isolated place. And I guess these people had built this house, and the family friend stopped over, and there was this story reminded me of it really quick. So the mom and her son stopped over to visit these people that just built this house, and their mom had like 2 or 3 kids. They were outside, and they had seen this kind of humanoid thing by this rock. And the kids had a name for it. They called it like the thing behind the rock. That's pretty, whatever. But they had seen it many times before, and it looked identical to what a crawler would look like. That lanky, kind of foreskin, white, gross looking color, chud looking creature. But it would watch the kids. And the moms had actually seen it and immediately brought the kids into the house, and periodically, but it never went into their yard. It stayed like, so the wood line is here and this rock was here. The yard kind of set right here, but it never crossed that rock area. It just stayed right there. What's up, 5 Rings? What's up, Bobby? Bobby Schultz is with us. 5 Rings are with us. I know, Caden. I know you look like a bull when you fucking don't do it again. Don't do it again. No. Firehorse, it's on your end if it's lagging, because it's not on my end. And I've got amazing internet access right now, so definitely not me. Do it again, bend over. What's up, Amy Rizzo? How are you tonight? Do it. I wonder if I can get Tigger in here. Buddy. Come on, buddy. I'm surprised he didn't come when I was laughing. Buddy. No, the shofar, he doesn't mind the shofar. Just the freaking death whistle. He hates that thing. That fucking death whistle, he just runs. I'm glad that you're here with us, Amy Rizzo. Have you had success with your dowsing rod? So the only time that I've really used the dowsing rod was at the Conjuring house. Isabel used it. My house is haunted. I've done videos here. They're like 2 years ago. I've caught stuff on my SLS camera, and I've caught stuff with the EVP recorder and such. We can use the dowsing rod if you want. Let's try it. Okay, so these are dowsing rods. These are from the Conjuring house in Rhode Island. Just so you know, I keep my hands straight like that. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see it. If there's anything here with us right now, cross these rods. Okay. Are you really here with us right now? Cross the rods if you are. My house used to be part of the Underground Railroad. So I've always thought that it was haunted by something like, like a runaway slave or possibly a person that worked for the Underground Railroad. Are you a spirit from the past? Or what are you? Are you a spirit? Cross the rods if you're a spirit. Are you a demon? Cross the rods. Well, wonderful. Did you follow me home from the Conjuring house? Cross the rods if so. If not, don't. Have you been in this house all this time? If so, cross the rods. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Fuck that. I'll tell you something crazy. So one night I was downstairs and I was using the SLS camera. And I had been down there. That's where the trap door to the basement is. And I had turned with the SLS camera and it looked like this huge stick figure on the screen, like larger than the screen was. One time I had actually did the videos on my channel. I'll try to find it. I had been in my living room. I'd been in the first part of the living room. And how my living room is, it's got a bookcase that divides it. It's one huge room. So I say there's two living rooms, but there's only one. But I'm in the front part of the living room and I'm facing the windows. And I get this really eerie feeling to my back. And I'm fucking videoing it. Like it's on my channel. And I go, guys, it feels like something's behind me. And I turn around with the SLS camera and there is a stick figure behind me. And I'm like, no, that's not good. That's not good. I've got my holy water in my room right here. I need a gallon. I think it's just paranormal hunt in my house, to be honest with you. Did you ask if you wanted to play Hangman? What's up, JFA? I've done prayers in this house. Like I have said, like I have a list of like paranormal like prayers suggested by from priests that are supposed to be said when you leave a home. No, I don't. No, I don't want to go to the LBL. I don't have any reason to. Obviously, we know there's stuff there, but I think a lot of it is overplayed, to be honest with you. I'd rather be at like Taylor, Mississippi. So when I do go, it'll probably be Taylor. I've heard of stick figure anomalies, don't know. So JFA, what the stick figure, the SLS camera is a camera, it's the Xbox Connect. It shoots out like this info green and it's got a tablet screen. And that if there's spirits in the house or any kind of entity, we'll just call them entities, it shows you as a stick figure. Lake Mead is crazy, yeah. Yeah, I gotta wait until I'd go to Bray Road. I've got to wait until Belle is, 18 before I go anywhere. I don't. First and foremost, she would go with me to a haunted location. But I don't want to bring her to a cryptid where there's a location where a cryptid would be. Vegas and the lake has energies. Yeah, definitely Lake Mead has some energies. The whole earth is haunted, Mickey Smith. You're absolutely right. Has anybody ever thought about like Teos, New Mexico, and what that humming and vibration is? I wonder if that has anything to do with like ley lines, or if it is there is a dumb under there, and that is just like the energy from that dumb. Yeah, 59th. Yup. 100%, soldier. 100%. Yeah, I really think it could be magnetic. Yeah, you're right. No cap. But I think they're doing something under there. Where did you go to Catholic elementary school? St. Michael's in South Glens Falls. Could be, Nino. Could be. I heard Lewinsky. I heard Monica Lewinsky was the infamous lot lizard and she does live underground. I've heard that. She's a lizard from the lot. Oh, boy. Oh, here's a good one. All right. I wanted to share this one here. My partner and I were walking home from a grocery store October 2022. It was 6 blocks from the store to our house along a busy street in our small Ohio city. As we are walking and chatting, we both observe two men smoking cigars on the side of the road. We pass them, and they both look at us. They started making weird comments that seemed aggressive. We both had the feeling it was somehow directed towards us. We don't look back and keep walking. At this point, we both realize everything has gone very quiet. No cars are passing us by. The cars up ahead are not moving. We can hear music coming from a cafe at the end of the block. Then someone on the other side of the road that we can hear but not see is completely freaking out, screaming and just going crazy. Everything felt very unsettling to both of us, and we commented on how quiet and how it was very odd. We reached the end of the block where the cafe is, and it's like we had been thrown into a wall of noise. We suddenly hear cars. They all start moving loudly. Bikes start going by, ringing bells, and basically all of the city sounds come back in full force. It was so incredibly bizarre to go from this unnaturally unsettling quiet to everything being back to normal suddenly. We spoke about it and both experienced this in the exact same way. I also had an unexplainable feeling that we had been in a different time for a moment. I'm not sure why it was. It was just a feeling. We walk home feeling a bit unsettled. We also pass two guys on the street who look exactly the same with the messed up freaking inhuman faces that gave off the aggressive vibes. We again had that same feeling. This is not right. We get home and our son acted like we had been gone for ages. I checked on my phone when we had checked out of the grocery store, and the walk usually takes 10 minutes. Took us over 30 now. I don't know what happened, but even a week later, I felt shaken. I actively avoided walking down the same block for a couple of months. It seems so small, but we were very totally freaked out by it all. It just all felt wrong and sinister. Has anyone ever heard or had a similar experience? I can't get it out of my head. It was so weird. Don't soda have lime? Yes, Coca-Cola had lines in it years ago. It was just Coca-Cola though. They still do actually. It's just not publicly broadcasted. That's why the flavor is different. Lily Lewis, I talked a little bit about it earlier. I think they say that animals have a change in behavior and such. So on the 8th of April, I'm going into the Adirondacks where Tom Mezek disappeared. Yes, it's true. And they still have the reason why Coca-Cola tastes different than Pepsi and other cola is because they still use the coca leaves in Coca-Cola still to this day. And I know people probably doubt that because they've heard differently, but do they still use cocaine in Coca-Cola?
According to Wikipedia, since then, by 1929, Coca-Cola has used a cocaine-free coca leaf extract. Today, that extract is prepared at a Stepan Company plant in Maywood, New Jersey, the only manufacturing plant authorized by the federal government to import and process coca leaves, which it obtains from Peru and Bolivia.
So, yep, they still use it. Guys, I need one more subscriber and we're going to hit 62,000. One more. Only 38,000 more to go until I hit that 100,000 to get my play button. What's the most disturbing wild Dogman story you've ever heard? They all are. I can't say like I think they're all disturbing because we're told that they don't exist. Probably the one that has affected me and I think about a lot. Jesse, the dog bandit story, the experience where he had been camping with his son and his daughter or son and his wife, and the dog man carried his son away and killed his son. The government pretty much almost pinned the death of his son on him. that experience really fucked me up. As a parent, it gets you. Desayo. Victor is no longer with us. He is probably 99.9% past. We hit it. 6203. Fucking A, guys. No, it's all right, Desoa. I hope I said your name right. Oh, guys, Sunshine, Lily, thank you for becoming members. I made my husband subscribe. Liz, thank you. Wow. Kurt W, that's not funny. Wow, that is great. Wow. You know, I never ever thought that this channel would even get 1,000 subscribers. I never started it to be a YouTuber. I just started it to I don't know. I just wanted to share information and hang out with people, and look where we are. If you build it, they will come. You're right. Wow. We're only 37,997 subs away. Tito, thank you so much. That right there deserves a $20 is $20 then, I guess. Huh, guys? $20 is $20. $20 is $20. This happened in 1960 or 61 near Douglas, Manitoba, on a road to Camp Shiloh, which would now be 340 highway. My future Uncle Ron was in the military and was dating my aunt at the time, who lived with us in the little hamlet called Douglas, Manitoba. He and my dad were both in the military at the time. Apparently, on his way back on the road to Camp Shiloh after visiting my aunt one evening, he had an encounter with what he described as a very large wolf-like thing sitting in the middle of the road. It would not move, so he stopped and it just sat there. All of a sudden, his car was shaken as something was in the backside area of his car. This animal or thing then lifted his back end and dropped it. Dropped it like it's hot? Sorry. My uncle was so petrified, as he said whatever it was huge. He couldn't see it in his rearview mirror, but he knew it had to have been another one of these wolf-like creatures. Another wolf creature in the road in front of his car had disappeared, and so my uncle just gunned it out of there, not looking back. He was terrified. He did not believe in the supernatural, but he said he knew what he saw and felt that night. He thought it was a wolf, but he wasn't sure. All he knows is that it looked like a gigantic wolf. I was very little at that time, and he told my mom what happened, as he knew she believed in the supernatural. You have 2 YouTube accounts? No, Bobby Shucks, I don't have 2 YouTube accounts. I have one. Nicole, I replied to you. I replied to you about that shirt. Did you ever see the pink tank top that I have that says $20 is $20. Jeff has an OnlyFans though. And every once in a while I have Caden bend over like a bull. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Oh, you do have 2 accounts. Look at you go. I know. I cannot believe we hit it, guys. Holy shit, man. When I hit 100,000, what are we going to do? Holy shit. 62,006 now. What do you guys want to do when we hit 100,000? What should we do? No, Casey Albright. God damn it. I'm not doing coke. On the 33rd parallel. I'm not going to get into that on that one, Lily. If you email me, I'll give you my thoughts. You like that when I said drop it like it's hot? Maybe a ghost hunt live. That would be cool. Liz, thank you so much. What about I already go to the Adirondacks, so that wouldn't be special. That's just something that I go to. What about the what's that one in Vermont? The triangle in Vermont there. What's it called? Haunted Triangle in Vermont.
According to Vermont,
Bennington Triangle. We'll go to the Bennington Triangle in the woods there. Do a live stream from there, maybe. Bigfoot with dwarfism. I don't have any. Jeb Smith, I like yours. A bunny ranch. That's a good idea, Nino, you sexy MFer. Yes, you're drunk, yeah. I've done videos. I've done multiple videos on Goatman. I've done subscribers from Maryland that have had Goatman experiences with pictures. Steven, how are you? Thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. I would love to collab with Mr. Ballin. If I could collab with one YouTuber, it would be John Allen. John Allen is my fucking hero. Amazing storyteller, just an amazing guy. Wow. That would be my YouTube dream if I could just do a video with him. That'd be great. I know John Allen would go into the woods. Have you guys ever heard his experience from when he was a kid at that skiing lodge that he told? I think he told it. It was like his 7th video on his channel. And it was pretty fucking scary. I'll see if I can remember it. So I think it was at his family's lodge or a friend's lodge. It was on the back end or the front end was elevated on those kind of like poles. He was up there and he had been camping up. I think his mom and family were there, but he had heard some kind of walking around the house on like this deck. And he had seen this like very large, kind of shadowy, like humanoid. But it wasn't like a shadow figure. It was almost a physical figure. And really just a great fucking scary story. It was early on. So if you go to his channel and you click on videos and you go to oldest, it would be there. Let me see if I can pull it up and tell you the name of it. Because if you guys haven't heard it, it is truly an amazing experience. Let's see. Videos, oldest. What I saw in my room still haunts me. It's actually the first story that if you go to his videos and you click oldest, it's awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever hit 1 million subs. I am not nearly as good as anybody. I'm going to be amazed if I hit 100,000, to be honest with you. What's his channel? It's called Mr. Ballin. His name's John Allen. He's a former Navy SEAL. Just a really nice guy. Like fucking salt of the earth guy. Really is. Dogman with a sword. Captain Ron, how are you? Yeah, that's his name. John Allen. Yep. I don't watch YouTube a lot, but when I do, I'll watch his channel. I watch a channel called Dead Bug. I love Dead Bug. He's a kind of a true crime. 23 and 1, one of my favorite channels. And Let's Read. I go to bed every night listening to Let's Read. Oh, thank you, Lily Lewis. Like when Let's Read hit 1 million, dude, his 1 million subscriber thing was great. If you guys do like true crime, Dead Bug he's not politically correct. That's one thing I will say. But he's a friend of mine. He's amazing, really nice guy. He used to work for Dateline and MTV back in the day. Night, Lily. Have a good night. Kim Duckworth, you got to send me that Vermont experience. Street Racer Guitar has not been around in some time. Wilburn Bishop, how are you? I hear you, RH. But he's great. He's really great. My ghost box, I've got an Ovilus and a ghost box. I don't know how they work, but they do work. I don't have any kind of opinion on it. I just know they work. Oh, thank you, Sunshine. That's awesome. I just met a book editing company. I connected with a book editing company this week. So I don't know if I'm going to do it with Amazon or them. I got to wait and figure it out. That chapter is a cool. Now, Dead Bug is the best. Dead Bug truly is the best true crime. You guys got to watch him. He's funny as fuck. That's what he did before. He worked for Dateline doing true crime. So he's not a YouTuber. He's actually a professional. But he's so underrated. It's weird that I think YouTube is restricting his views back and stuff like that. This is a very interesting one. This happened in Garland, Texas. What's going on, Corey Cole? How are you? Thank you, Truth Quest. Hey, Troy, how are you? All right. Folks described 3 different sightings with winged humanoids near their home between May 2020 and November 2020. They stated that a winged humanoid had a build similar to Jeepers Creepers film character, but much larger. Each sighting was observed from outside of their home. They described it as a thin, dark-colored, human-like body with legs and large bat-like wings that had a total span of over 15 feet. The head was not distinct and seemed to be a part of the upper body. On one occasion, the winged humanoid flew above them a short distance, approximately 50 feet or so. They both felt a strange pressure that emanated from their being. They never heard any sounds associated with this winged creature. They did see it fly into the neighbor's tree during one of the sightings, but it disappeared totally. They have not seen it since. When they attempted to tell friends, family, and neighbors, they were totally rebutted. RC did mention that they are Hispanic and that many people around them are very superstitious when it comes to the supernatural and unknown creatures. During that same period, they encountered an unexplained series of lights and anomalies one evening. Both of them work late shifts and are home in the early morning. They usually enjoy taking late night walks around the neighborhood. One night, they heard loud, shrill screams coming from down the street. As they were walking in the direction of the sounds at approximately 2 in the morning, they both observed an erratic movement of blue and red orbed-like lights in the sky. As they continued to watch the lights, a huge dome of light filled the sky. They then heard what they described as mechanical sounds. They never did find out the source of the screams, but believe it was associated with the unusual orbed lights. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Sonia, have a good night. Or is Marcy going to bed? Marcy's going to bed. All right, guys. About 2.5 hours in. I had a long day today with snow shoveling and that. So what I'll do is I got one more encounter. We'll do one more. $20 is $20, and then we'll call it a night. So $20 is $20 or encounter first. You pick. You pick. Thank you, Marcy Brock. I appreciate that. Well, Wilburn, I got 20. We got like 24 inches today. $20. $20. Oh. $20. Lot lizard. Lot lizard. That's what she said. The bull joke definitely wore me out. I'm still fucking burning up because of it. My infant daughter and I had driven up north from Kamloops, British Columbia, for the day to visit my mom. We had gone out to dinner, and my baby girl fell asleep in the middle. We put her in the car. We put her in her carrier and covered her with her new blanket. When dinner was over, we said our goodbyes and we went. It was around 10 p.m. by the time we got to the road, and we had a good 2-hour drive ahead of us. I was glad that the next day was Sunday and I'd be able to catch up on some sleep. I played some music quietly to keep myself alert, and it worked for the first hour and a half of the drive. But at around 11:30, something else happened that made me more alert than I had ever been in my entire life. It was very dark, and the lights along the rural road were spaced out pretty far, so my headlights were the only lights I could rely on. But as I turned along a slow curve, I saw something ahead. On the right side of the road was a creek, and in order to make sure there are no incidents with people driving into the gully, a guardrail was in place. It had cement blocks attached every so often that held lights in place. As my high beam stretched brightly into the darkness, I saw something on the cement block up ahead. I squinted to make out a dark silhouette. Just then, the figure leapt from the cement block and flew through the air. It landed solidly on the road directly in my path. I watched as it slowly began to stand tall and raise its arms over its head. I saw the muscular thing stretch until it had shown its full height, about 2.5 meters tall. Its furry arms were wide. They waved wildly in the air, and as I approached my car, I could see its muscular build. At first, when it was still on the side of the road, I thought it was a black bear trying to hunt since deer are prevalent in the area. But as it stood there, I could see the human-like qualities in its limbs and face. It looked like a giant, a very hairy, ugly, naked man. Then it did something completely unexpected. It crouched down, and I thought it was going to jump back into the forest. Completely unexpected, the forest that surrounded us. But instead, it laid down, stretching its full body across the lane. It was too late for me to stop or swerve. I hit it, whatever it was. I hit it with my Honda Accord. I had expected there'd be a huge crunching sound, and my thoughts immediately went to my sleeping baby. Would we be hurt? Would our car be able to drive? Did this going to make us stranded? But to my surprise, we rolled over it very easily. There was a thumping sensation, and I knew that the position of my car had made me run over its head. I felt sick, thinking I could have just killed someone or some poor creature. But the image of it standing in the middle of the road made me uneasy enough to assault my guilt. I stopped the car for a moment. When we had gone 100 meters or so, I looked in my rear view to see if it was still lying there. Illuminated in my brake lights, it was not moving. Panic, fear, and concern flooded me in a mix of waved emotions. I thought about getting out of the car, but I worried that maybe it'd be alive and angry. I couldn't risk getting hurt, not with my baby in the car. That's when I made the decision that still haunts me. I floored the accelerator and did not stop until I reached home. When we finally pulled into my driveway, I felt safe. I immediately grabbed the carrier with my baby and ran inside. After putting her in her crib, I paced the house. The rest of my family was out of town and unreachable by phone. I had no idea what to do. After worrying and pacing, I finally decided to call the police. I knew that no one would take this call seriously if I said it was a Sasquatch. After the call, I went out to check the damage for the car. I feared the worst. I really thought that I would have to explain the unexplainable to a mechanic, but the damage was minimal. Only the license plate was bent and one of the bolts. I had found hairs from this creature. I thought about keeping it, but reasoned that it was crazy and threw it out. No one believed me. I later called the police the next day to check, and they found that there was no record of my call, and nothing suspicious was reported along any of the country roads. When my family returned, I told them what happened. Of course, they thought I was making it up. After a while, I stopped talking about it. My family still makes fun of me, but I've learned to not respond. I know what really happened that night, and I know it's still out there. Can you imagine hitting a freaking Bigfoot with a Honda Accord? Like, the thing's bigger than your car. Let's see. Did we get any more? We got 4 more. 62,010. Only 37,990. Guys, Neck, Shackle Neck, Liz, Nino, Zach, Jane, Andy, 59th, Tracy, Puma Pete, Gigi. I had a great night with you guys tonight. I appreciate everything. Nino, you sexy MFer. George, thank you for making my Saturday night special. Thank you for hitting 62,000 with me. We did a great job. Caden, you know I love you, brother. I had a blast tonight. I was exhausted when I started, but I knew I needed to do this because it's fun. It makes me happy. It makes me happy to hang out with you guys. So thank you once again. And everyone stay safe, stay happy, stay free. Don't let your meatloaf. I don't know what else. Stephen Knight. God, same time we said it, brother. All right, guys. I love you all. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really did have a great time. I can't wait until next week. Hopefully, I won't be as tired as I am. We'll do a 3-hour next week. Tara Baby, have a good night. Wilburn, be safe. John Sumner, OG Allen Howell, Sunshine, James Buck, Elsa Blue, Corey, nice guy. Love you guys. Thank you again for everything. Good night, Lizzie, Joe, Web Surfer, Bobby.